contribute? I'm going to start with a cliche. I have lived a good life. Although overused, this statement concisely describes my viewpoint on my good life. For my good life, you need to do two things: make mistakes and make an impact. But before I become pedantic, I want to acknowledge why I'm retiring. I have learned, taught, researched, and practiced in this hospital for over 30 years, and that's only after med school. I have given what I have to offer to this field of science, and I believe allowing young minds into the hospital can only be beneficial. Old people, like me, can be set in their thinking. Over my 30-plus years here, working as a doctor, researcher, and teacher, student life has occupied a large chunk of my time, whether I was studying as a student or teaching students like yourselves. I spent years behind the desks where you sit today, and even more years in front of those same desks. I spent many years watching doctors operate on patients, and many years being the doctor with a scalpel in hand. I have been on both sides of the learning equation, so I direct my points to the students. To be concise, I will use another cliche. Learn from your mistakes. Again, I have a unique viewpoint on this statement. I believe that learning is making mistakes. John Dewey, a philosopher, agrees with me. He states, education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. If learning is life, and making mistakes is learning, then making mistakes is life, right? Exactly. Let's talk about my biggest mistake. I lazed through high school. I earned average grades and decent SAT scores, but I could have done better. My mistake was this: I never wanted to do well. Other people, be it parents, teachers, or friends, told me to do well. Any effort that I put in, any assignment I did was for them. I never did anything for me. Because of this lack of effort, I became a lazy student. There's no internal flame, only external. Then came college. Going into college, I knew I wanted to pursue medicine, and as such, I knew I had to perform better. Getting my high school grades again would land me into med school outside the continental United States. Not good. I picked up my grades, and this time, I only did it for myself. Many people do well in school when externally pressured, and as a consequence, they live their lives needing the flame from others. They are puppets in their own lives. I learned from my mistake early, and I advise you to do the same. Let's move to my second point: making an impact. As you know, I have practiced as a doctor, lectured as a teacher, and researched as a researcher. The research aspect of my job has been especially filled with mistakes. If there was ever a trial and error part of my life, besides dating in college, it was research. I spent years running tests and sporadically making discoveries, only to realize my work only added a tiny piece of the puzzle. I've had the tiniest impact on the world in terms of my research. I've had the smallest impact on students and patients that have come through this hospital. But here's the point: I made a useful impact. I describe the importance of making an impact on the world around you, but never forget to allow others to impact you. The most influential impact on my life was marriage. While I was in med school, I met my wife. I don't know if she was the girl of my dreams, but I fell for her. Not to mention, she was the girl who said yes when I proposed, which was all that mattered. Allow others, be it your wife, students, or teachers, to make an impact on you. Making impacts takes time, and things that take time tend to be frustrating. Don't be frustrated. Whether it's research, studying, buying a car, or finding your wife, taking time means you're doing it right. Being a teacher, I turned this speech into a lecture. In this final lecture, I'm telling you the lesson that everyone should learn when they're 4, but no one learns until they're 24. I don't base my message in any wisdom. In fact, it is just the opposite. Through all the mistakes I've made and all the risks I've taken, I have made an impact. Not a big one, but I made it. After 30-plus years of making small impacts, it's time for me to end my last lesson. Thank you.